So when you guys, found out you were having a child, what was your financial situation like? Did you have any debt? Did you have an emergency fund? Because you were about to disrupt a lot of things.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, what was the financial situation like before?
Yeah, so we owned a townhouse, so we had a mortgage, but no other personal debts, no car loans, nothing like that. Double income.
Yeah.
Living our best life. Lots of money was injected into travel the year before we fell pregnant with Rowie. So I found that quite daunting, not having a huge nest egg that we probably would have had.
Yeah. So what was your initial thought with what are we going to do for money when you're off work?
Yeah. So we went hard at saving while I was still working. It was obviously a bit of lockdown within that time. So I feel like that definitely helped play a part in that. And then I was also eligible for the Centrelink maternity leave.
Right.
So I was knowing that I was going to be paid that. But back when I had Rowie, it was only 18 weeks.
Yeah.
Paid parental leave.
And I will do a little episode on this. As at the 1st of July this year, it is going to 24 weeks.
Yep.
There are reserved partner days, which are 15 days reserved for a use it or lose it type vibe.
Yep.
And parents can take up to 20 days of leave simultaneously. Super will be paid from, I think, 2026.
And then it goes
12%.
to like 26 weeks.
Yeah. And then it just – so lots in this space. As at today, based on the national minimum wage, as from the 1st of July last year, it's $9.15 per week. And there are some income tests there, but we'll do a bit of an episode on that. So, yeah, you did have some money.
Yeah.
But just looking at this, the first time round, you were off for 12 months.
Yeah.
Sure, you had some government help, you had some savings. Did your lifestyle change much once things started to open back up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess having a baby, your lifestyle changes regardless. But yeah, I guess.
But in terms of financial lifestyle, sure, we might not be going out for brunch 3 days a week, but that cost is probably going to go to baby stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it just changed a lot in where we were putting our money, where we were buying our food from, and just being more conscious of where we're spending our money and what do we actually need. So it was a big reality check.
What would you say if you could return time to before Rowie first child, knowing that you were going to have leave from the workforce, would you have done anything different, do you think?
I would just say that babies don't need all the things that are advertised.
Yeah, interesting.
Keep it minimal.
Yeah, okay.
Keep it very minimal, yeah.
So you went on a bit of a baby splurge. Oh, we need this, we need that,
Absolutely.
We need that.
Yep.
I think that's natural. You get excited and you want to do all that.
Is.
But
I guess it's more like thinking about planning ahead as well. Like, do I need a pram that's for one child, or are we going to have one soon again later, like in a close time frame? So do we get a pram that suits 2 children? Things like that I didn't really plan for.
And I think it's, you said the P word, plan. This is a situation where it was intentional that you were going to start a family. And there are a lot of people that, surprise, you're starting a family now.
That was us, Glen.
Oh, that's right, because it was a lockdown conception. Anyway. No, but I mean, the second child.
Yep.
Was that planned? Was Gia planned?
That was planned.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was, and I guess having already done it, I guess the second time round, more. But it was also harder to plan for things because I was working 3 days. We were already paying childcare. We already had a child to consider. So I guess it was a completely different way of planning.
But there's nothing like a bit of external pressure to get your ass into gear.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, crap, we're going on holidays, we've booked the tickets, okay, we've got to really save.
Yeah.
So it is good, that bit of pressure.
Absolutely.
But it just speaks to as a general rule in life, you hopefully want to go through without consumer debt.
Yes.
With having a bit of an emergency fund.
Yes.
And having your finances agile.
Yeah.
So when becoming a parent and being a career-focused individual, or you're both kind of a career people, right?
Yeah.
Your definition of success, did that change during the maternity leave, during starting a family? Has it changed? Did it change?
Yeah, so I would say it definitely changed after having my first child, but I guess it's because my priorities shifted. But I also had to just come to terms with, like, for the first 7 years of my career, I don't think I ever really took a sick day, where when you're sending a child to daycare, you're going to be taking sick days. So I guess one thing that Nathan and I do really well is we share that load, because my career is just as important as his. And we've both been in our jobs long term, so we both have sick pay, which I know isn't always the case. So just sharing that load, because I think after having Rowie and going back to work, I decided that I still wanted to be a broker. So I just needed to make it work. And also setting that expectation with my clients around, I do work 3 days. I can be available at nights and potentially weekends, but just setting that expectation from the start. And if that doesn't suit a client, then I have support in the office that would do that. So I feel like my career goals didn't change, but the way I went about that definitely changed.
Yeah. And when you were that first time round, you took effectively 12 months off, and Nathan was still working as a school teacher educator in New South Wales public system. Did you at the time know or do anything like super splitting? So did he put any of his super into your super or anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I feel like as you get older, you learn more of these things that you can do. But I mean, yeah, I feel like our relationship is very equal and even. So maybe over the next few years, I might go and work a little bit more, and he might take a step back.
Yeah.
And he's more supportive in that than I can.
How long were you together before you started,
So we've been together since 2017.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of years to know each other.
Yeah.
How long after meeting each other did you move in together?
Oh, basically immediately. I think we
you
met.
Dirty dogs.
Yeah, I think we started dating in the July and we moved in the October.
So you knew.
Yeah, it was very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were like 26.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just felt right. His lease was ending, and I was like, I owned my townhouse at the time. And basically within the year, we just joined finances, which I know sounds absolutely wild to some people.
Yeah. Got to do what you got to do.
You do.
Yeah, cool. And just for those people who might not have picked up on what I asked around the super thing, you can do a thing called super splitting, and effectively if one person takes a year off, you can pretty much put up to 85% of your super into your spouse's super account, and the 85% is the net after the 15% tax has been taken off.
Wow.
And yeah, so basically the logic is potentially if someone's taking the year off, you would go, okay, well, let's split some of the super from, in this instance, Nathan was still working. He might put 50% of what he received into your super.
Yeah.
So it's super splitting. It's I think, a best kept
Is that only
secret.
new?
No, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, right.
But just no one knows about this.
No.
It's the best kept secret in terms of
absolutely.
superannuation and that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We will take a break and we'll talk about, the whole work situation, and we'll do so right after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. If you would like help based on your own personal situation, head over to moneypodcast.com.au, click Get Help, and we'd be happy to introduce you to one of our trusted professionals. Our panel of vetted financial advisors and mortgage brokers work with people all over Australia so they can connect with you wherever you are. That's moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help.